What's up, peoples?
What's
We
up?
made it.
Yo,
Barely.
I got on with 20 seconds left in the countdown.
Oh, so you're the beast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chris had like 2 minutes left in the countdown. I started it without anybody else here. I was like, this is gonna be awkward. Like, hi guys. So I'm not a
He was
first time
really
reader, but I'm gonna act like it for 5 seconds. Fun times. Yeah. It's been one of those weeks/days. I like the little A, man. A minor. I think the Kendrick Lamar song.
Hey, yeah, that's what I meant by it. Hey, minor. Hold on. Turn to the camera. Wink.
I was thinking about doing a play on the Super Bowl, but because I'm so behind on the putting out like the podcast, I wasn't sure like if it would age well. Like, because like straight up Egwene like does a whole Kendrick Lamar to like Elida here, so like
there's some overlap here. There's some discussion to be had.
There's some discussion to be had in the second chapter, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, fun times. Yeah, actually, I did want to start out. I don't have any like real announcements, but we did get a comment like last week, and I thought it was funny. So I like reading funny comments. And if you listen, and this is all the way from back in Crown of Swords. So if you're still listening by the time you get to Gathering Storm, sorry, I'm not gonna name your name because I'm respectful like that. This comment we had on YouTube. It says it's something about a white person calling the hood the ghetto that sits wrong with me. The comments y'all make are something else. I'm going to just address that right now.
There's a little fairness to that, but
a little bit.
Also,
a little bit, but
go live where I lived, and then let's talk about what we call shit.
You gotta look at the
draw a circle around myself and talk about my life experience.
Right,
as the somewhat black guy in the group.
Yeah,
the half black guy in the group. I can say without a doubt that they can say what they say because I know where they grew up. I know where they went to school.
He knows a couple of schools. Right.
I didn't go to their school, but I was literally down the street from where they lived. So yeah. There's that part. And
what's really bad is I don't really mean it as a derogatory or negative thing. I'm just talking about home.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
We live.
Watch the Allen Iverson or the Michael Vick story, and you'll see like it's all over.
You'll see.
Yeah. There's zero doubt.
At the same time, I could see why it may not sit right with people, but you gotta listen to all the backstory, and it makes a little more sense.
I grew up in the newer portion of the city, so
I
look less hood and less ghetto.
I've eventually moved.
I've been invited to the cookout, so it's all good.
Right, like that's legit.
I mean, I don't know if I was really invited. I just my wife's black, so I got by proxy. They're all like, "Why the hell are you here?" I was like, "Wife, kids, I have no choice." They're like, "You're not supposed to be here."
I make my to-go plate before I make my plate. So
he knows.
I know the strategy.
Alan's like, you see the 3 ones running over there? Yeah, those. Yeah, I did that.
Ones that look a little bit like me. Yeah,
look a little bit like me. Yeah.
Well, they look like Alan. I wasn't insinuating. No.
I mean.
Anyways,
can I just say this?
I just thought it was a funny.
Before I hopped on today onto this podcast, I had not laughed since about 8 o'clock this morning. So I'm glad we did this.
We needed a good giggle.
We did.
Glad we can get a laugh out of it. Yeah, no, it's great. I will continue to say whatever comes to my mind, and if it offends anybody, sorry.
Yeah. Offense isn't necessarily the goal, but we accept it might happen from time to time.
It will happen. It will happen from time to time. It is what it is. But we do not condone anything like as far as like racism or anything like that. Like, if that's where you thought that was coming from, I can let you know right now that is none of
none of that at
all.
None of that.
There is none of that stuff, or nor do we condone any of that stuff. So that's not
no more ghetto than I am. I never have.
I went to your wedding, man. I went to your wedding. There's nothing ghetto. I mean,
that was nice,
dude. That country club is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Try to, do a little dust off the shoulders walking in.
That was one of the better parties I've been to in quite some time.
It was
actually. That was great. Yeah. Yeah, y'all do like in 5 years get remarried again. Don't wait. People wait till like 20 or 30 years to like do their vows again. Do it in 5 and have another party because that was great.
That was fun. That was a fun party. It was good. Good times. Yeah, that's all announcements. I don't think we ever need Patreons or anything like that. So nothing else is really new. Just kind of we're signing tomorrow the contract for our contractor. So our renovations should start in 2 weeks.
Hey,
yeah.
So where I'm recording now, I will not be recording here in 2 weeks, probably in a week. Once we sign the contract, I have to move all this stuff out of here. I'm not
You've recorded in closets before.
I have. I'm just going to use my laptop and just going to record that for a couple months because it's going to be 3 or 4 months. And this is going to be my bedroom where I am sitting right now.
I think that's awesome for you guys. I'm excited for you.
Once it's all said and done.
It's gonna be weird walking in the house.
It's funny because like we had some extra, like, so we went with this new contractor and we ended up going with him. And he came to do the pictures. And he saw my ring light and he's like, "What do you got going on there?" And I was like, "I have a podcast." He's like, "I have a podcast too. I do it about home improvement, that kind of stuff." I was like, "Awesome." So we sit down and like before, like my wife was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to find some place to have some podcast." And he starts like doing the design. It's like, and then this room, what we're gonna do is we're gonna convert this into this, and then your podcast can go right in here. And I was like, and like I turned to like my wife, and I was like, "Is that okay?" She's like, "It looks really great, actually." I was like, "You're awesome." Like,
you're hired.
You're hired. We're gonna sign right here. The fact that you rearranged everything to make room for my podcast. That's awesome. All right. So I have my own little recording room. It's in a closet. It is in a closet, but it's a giant closet. And like half fits for it all. It's an office closet combo.
Hey,
there you go.
What she was talking about, that it's like actually with hanging clothes and stuff in there, it would be great for sound.
Yeah.
So cool. Exciting.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean, we had my son and Ian's birthday last week, so I didn't celebrate really Ian's, but I celebrated my son's. So that's all I really got going on in my life was birthdays, and more birthdays.
Ian went around the world one more time.
Yep, one more trip around the sun.
Yep. Yep. So
there's no gray in his beard, y'all. You see that?
I know, man. I'm jealous. I got tons
there is. If you get in there, I'm starting to speckle. I'm starting to speckle.
Little speckles. Yeah, but it was we had a good weekend. We had 3 birthday parties on Saturday, so that was a lot. It was a lot.
Coming from the extrovert, that's a lot. You're an extrovert too, but
yeah, but at that point,
I don't know how the rest of your people made it.
Yeah, by the end of the day, I was kind of done with people. Like, and I'm an extrovert, and I was like,
yeah,
like, I don't even want to be around anybody anymore. Like, hi, bye, get out of my house.
Yeah. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah. What about you guys? What's going on? What's new? It's exciting. Or not? Well, it's depressing.
I found out that birthday cake is a great pre-workout. I had a couple of not lifetime PRs, but like recent PRs since I started getting back to it. And it felt easy. Like if I had a good spotter I trusted, I might have gone for some more. But I'm benching over 200 again. And I could throw up 100-pound dumbbells a couple of times. And that's with launching them myself. Like I had a spotter there, but he didn't have to touch them. And I got like 3 or 4. So for a guy my size, that's huge.
That's unless you lift, you may not understand like benching a straight bar with 200 on it is nothing when you compared to dumbbells. Like dumbbells, 200 pounds. That's using all those little tweak muscles. That's really stressing the body. It's easy to get thrown off balance and hurt something. So the fact that you put it up, that's huge.
And at my age, I've talked about the back issues, but I had shoulder problems, especially right shoulder and everything, which makes the dumbbell press like I've had to slowly get back into it. So anyways, slam some birthday cake, chug some pre-workout, boom, I was throwing it around. The trouble is everybody that wanted to celebrate my birthday in the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, as I've run into them, they're like, "Let me take you out to eat." And because it's my birthday, I'm pretty good with my diet, but because it's my birthday, I'm like, we're throwing down.
Yeah.
I have put on 7 pounds in exactly 1 week. And I know that's a lot of water weight on top of what I've been eating, but still, like this next week, I'm not gonna go crazy, but a little smarter what I eat. a little heavier on the core workout and cardio and see if I can flush all that stuff out. So
yeah,
nice.
But I feel it in my skin too. Like when you've been eating healthy for a while, you do a week of eating junk food, I feel greasy. I can feel pimples forming on my back and forehead. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Like it was all good.
So damn good.
It was amazing.
I would be 200 pounds lighter if food didn't taste so good.
I know. And that's why I don't know how to, I'm sure it's similar down there. You're in the big city, but Richmond, the best thing it has going for it is all the food. All these little mom and pop restaurants, like anything you think of, we got it, and it's not crazy expensive. And it's all good. Yeah. So yeah, I got myself in trouble this last week, but I'm not mad about it.
I don't normally eat cake, but the cake that we got for my son was delicious.
Yeah, when you find a good one.
Yeah, we went to Publix. The new Publix they opened up.
Publix is great cake.
Yeah, their icing is what does it.
Sleep on Publix.
No, man.
At my wedding was Publix cake.
The Publix key lime pie, and Publix makes a mango key lime pie, and they are fantastic. Yeah, really good.
I mean, literally, that all of our cakes for our wedding came from Publix.
Nice. Yeah,
like,
it's good stuff.
Went to all these nice places and try these nice cakes, and then the only good thing my wedding planner was like, "Did you guys try Publix?" I was like, "What?" And then she brought me samples, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!
Wait, this is legit."
Cake.
And you're talking about a fourth of the cost? Yeah,
right, right.
Yeah, do twice the amount of cakes, and everybody gets cake. Like,
yeah.
Look, at my wedding, we had Walmart chicken fingers, so and Natty Light.
And Natty Light.
Yours was bougie, Chris.
Yeah, it was very bougie.
It was bougie. Fun times. Good deal.
How was my week?
Yeah, your week's a mess. I know. Go on, Chris.
Like yesterday was 13-hour work day. We did have a phenomenal Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Like, I went to the in-laws, and we just enjoyed the game because we were rooting for the Eagles to win, just because we were wanting the Eagles to win one.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, my nephew's a huge Eagles fan, so like, all right, I'm gonna put the hat on for you. And let me tell you, the Eagles played a really good game of football. And I'm not, again, a huge football fan, but
that defense.
The defense was phenomenal. And dude, their offensive line is up. Did you see the stats for the offensive line? They had 5 of me up there at my prime. Like, they had
with like 6'4", 6'5".
The average size was 6'6", 335 pounds. That's me.
And they can run faster than me.
Yeah. Yes, they're beast.
They can move.
They pulled a couple of rugby guys out there, so that right there was the key.
They're just throwing dudes around. It was impressive to watch.
Yeah.
So Lions win game. I don't care what anybody says. If you looked at what happened to Mahone, like he got closed into his pocket. That defense.
He was panicking
him up and
all game. You saw it on his face. He has not experienced that in a couple of seasons. I don't know that he's ever been pressured like that.
And then they played a short game, so they were just like nickel and diming them 2, 3, 5 yards here and there, and they held the ball for 3/4 of the game. And again, I'm not a big football fan, but when I see a smart game played, like somebody playing chess when the rest of the people playing checkers,
oh yeah,
damn! Like, no wonder the Commanders lost to them. Like, they played a hell of a game.
Get to see Serena Williams do the crypt walk too, which was fun.
That was awesome. Again, I was one of those people like, how is he going to top Beyonce's Christmas halftime show? And he may not have topped it, but he did a damn good job of putting a lot of messages out there at one time. And so, he's a great entertainer. Anybody that doesn't read into it was entertained. Anybody that does read into it was like, oh, I'm surprised he did that. So I'm gonna leave it there.
It was great.
Serena was hilarious. I watched a little bit of her after.
Yeah, the fact that she was there was a message in itself.
Yeah,
and I love that also.
So many levels. Poor Drake. Yeah. Anyway, and then of course she's from Compton, so
yes,
Compton.
Yeah. All right.
I've been to Compton before.
I have not. I've not been on the West Coast.
I went to Compton in the 90s. Like when you didn't go to Compton. I was in Compton for about 5 seconds.
You legitimately had Death Wish.
Yeah, we were on a family vacation and we were driving on the LA freeway. My dad got lost, and this was in high school, so it was the late 90s. and he just took an exit off, and he didn't know where he was. And I saw the road sign, and it was, Compton. Was the road sign said, and I was like, Dad, you don't want to take this exit. So no, we're just gonna stop and ask for directions. Like, no, like not the idea.
This ain't the one you want.
This isn't the one you want. And he pulled off in a rented Dodge Caravan minivan, like white Dodge rental, pulls off of the LA freeway into Compton, and we got one block and a cop pulled us over. And I mean, they saw us and immediately pulled us over. Like, not for traffic at all. Just like, we're gonna escort you back to the freeway. So, like, sir, you're not supposed to be here.
You were in the wrong hood.
You're
the wrong ghetto.
Yeah. Dad, you can't go here. Dad's like, what? I don't even know what this Compton place is. And I was like, I'm in high school. I know who Dr. Dre is. Do not stay here. Leave.
Right. They're not just songs. He's telling about his life growing up. Like, we need to go.
And this is 90s, so it's not even. It's still there.
Yeah.
It's not like the revived. I mean, Compton's still bad, but it's not like it's now a hip. It's like Harlem went through that renaissance and like gentrification and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's still Harlem. It still has its roots. It still has its soul. Same with Compton, and it still has its rough areas, but it's not like it was in the 90s. Yeah.
Anyway. It's like hearing a client refer to Newport News as bad news. I'm like, we're not so bad anymore. It's
cleaned up a lot.
Like we've changed
a little bit.
We have our moments.
There's still a little bit of that. They found another dead body yesterday, so that was fun.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you gotta remind yourself of your past every now and then.
That's just another part of life. Yeah. It's another path, one which we all must take.
I saw it this morning because I was on the way to work, and there was like they had 17 blocked off and like cops and fire trucks everywhere. And then I saw the news later this afternoon, like apparently some guy left a bar and got followed out of the bar, and they didn't find the body until the ditch until the next morning.
Oh,
but yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, that happens.
Talking ish, something happened.
That stinks. Of course, near 17 might have just been hit by a car. I mean, you never know.
No, some guy that was at Haas's, and then he went over to County Grill, and
I don't know. On the Yorktown border too. Like that's
say no more. Yeah. Say no more, fam. Haas's night.
Yeah, Haas's late night. Yeah, it gets kind of rough. Anyway, I like Haas's, but it's not. It's not a good.
I get my sandwich and I leave.
I went there about a month ago, late at night. And I called Alan from there. I called Alan and I was like, I totally forgot.
I totally forgot.
And I thought I could hang, but I'm looking around. This ain't me no more. It's I stand out. So yeah, dude, I got my fried pickles and drank my beer and I left.
Last time I went to went there was like, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. And I went in there, and next thing I know, like I'm on the back patio, like playing a dice game in the corner. Like literally, we're playing CeeLo in the corner of the bar, like with like putting money down and everything, just throwing money down, playing dice.
At least you had the hands to do it.
Yeah,
because I mean, you could be like Rand, no longer fitting in anywhere and not even having a hand to play with.
Oh yeah,
we're segueing. All right, let's do that. Let's talk about All right, chapter 1. I got the book here.
Our poor listeners have been 24 minutes.
Do you have the book ready to read it, Chris?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'll do it. I haven't done it yet. It's been
do it.
Chapter 1. The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legend fades to myth, and myth is long forgotten when an age that gave it birth comes again. In one age, called the third age by some, an age yet to come, an age long past, a wind rose around the alabaster spire known as the White Tower. The wind was not the beginning. There are neither beginnings nor endings to the turning of the wheel of time, but it was a beginning. Lowercase, italicized, A minor.
A minor.
A minor.
It was minor. Beginning. So yeah.
I like how it was changed up. There's a little bit differences here, and then it rolls into the next part where they're talking about the spire. They're talking about, the wind kind of whipping up around the spire Tarvalon,
and there's refuse. There's refuse in the streets. It's like a little dirtier than it used to be, and there's a crew working on the
a lot dirtier.
Yeah, there's a crew working on the chain trying to like cut it down, and
the city is falling into decay. Like we're seeing the touch of disarray.
Right. Yep. Then the wind continues through the village of Ellender, across the river of Eridan, to the rebel Icy Eye camp, and then it goes across the carrying grass, the Carlane grass, to Air Domain, where we see Rand.
Yes.
And he has his hands behind the back.
Yes.
He still thinks of his hands.
Well, we got a note too, because that wind was blowing and then it smacked into another force. And it was stopped.
Yep.
This is the first mention of like nature itself acknowledging the fact that it's being challenged.
Yes. Yeah, and they point out the flags and the trees. It's like, and Rand even looks up, like Min comes up behind him, and he's like, "Yeah, see the trees over there? They're like,
something's not right.
Direction. That wind's going in the wrong direction.
But is it blowing right there or wrong here? Like, which one's the wrong one?"
He's like, "It's the flags of the trees, flags."
Yeah,
like you said, he's sitting here like flags or trees, but then only one hand is actually like moving. The other hand is gone. So he's poor Rand. I can imagine losing a hand.
I got
a buddy that lost a hand. Second week we were in Iraq, and I still stay in touch with him. And he was bummed about it for like the first couple of years, but like the way prosthetics are and everything. I talked to him recently. Actually, he's like, he don't even think about it anymore. Like there's nothing limiting him at all. He has one hand that's kind of like it does a little bit of everything, but then he has specialty hands for different tasks that he does, and he just swaps it out. And he's like, honestly, it's kind of cool. Like once I got over, and I'm sure other people that have lost limbs or whatever, it's different experiences. So I'm not speaking for everybody, but for him, he's learned to really lean into it, and embrace it, and loves it. But Rand's not there yet. Rand is still forgetting that he lost it.
Well,
still
Rand
thinks it's there.
Like he's existing to exist. He's a machine. Like he's just there to do.
He's just got to make it to the end.
Yeah,
he's not trying to survive.
Was it James Abbott? That was his name. The famous pitcher, baseball pitcher, one-handed pitcher.
Oh yeah.
Played for the Angels. I think that's what he was.
Yeah, I guess I'll take your word for it.
He pitched a no-hitter with he only has one hand.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Professional baseball player. He'd put his glove on the same hand. He'd like keep the glove tucked in under his arm because he'd have a hand and then pitch and then throw his pitching hand into his glove so he can catch it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's real skill.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so, impressive. But Rand's still learning. He's still having the little memories of his hand, but he's not even worried about it anymore. Kind of.
DK, no, it's not a death rattle. No, I'm sorry, I want to acknowledge this question. No, it's not a death rattle.
Yeah. He keeps on trying.
It's a beginning. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm throwing you off on purpose now. Sorry, I'll
stop. Yeah, but he's there. Cimarroc's there. That's the big thing right now. It's going on is he's thinking about what Cimarroc said, and then Lews Therod's in his mind too, and he's thinking about going crazy. And is he going crazy? He cleaned the taint, but
yeah, he's like, I cleaned the taint. This is supposed to be getting better, but it's not.
It's not.
And he's also acknowledging that he's got 4 other voices in his head, 3 of which he chose, 1 of which he didn't, neither of which he wanted, 1 of which he needs to have. Like this internal back and forth things like I need Min, but I didn't really want her bonded to me. I didn't want her to struggle through this with me. But at the end of the day, we're all tools, and if we can't succeed, it doesn't matter. So justifying, if you want to call it that, is Rand going crazy? I don't know that he's really going crazy at this point. I think he's coming to terms with the reality that he lives, which is that the world itself has gone crazy. I mean,
and that he has to die. Yeah, he's thinking about that as well.
Yeah,
even that he accepted a while ago. Yeah.
Even the wind is like, man, I'm not even doing my job. Like I can't touch all the places.
Yep. Getting stopped up. And then I guess it's worth noting, we've talked about as it's progressed, Rand's relationship with Lews Therin, and now like he's not necessarily fighting him or even fighting for control. He's kind of desperate to get information from him. He recognizes that Lews knows more than he's sharing. And then Lews on his side is struggling from time to time when he starts to think about his wife and family that he killed. And so Rand's like begging him for information. Like, what do you mean? What happened? Like, why are you freaking out? Like, why didn't it work? Or what did you do to try and contain the Dark One? And why didn't it work? Like, what was the problem? And we're just getting like speckles, bits and pieces from Lews about it.
Yeah.
Really, he just starts crying and lets a few things out.
Yeah.
So,
but
Rand is definitely actively pursuing information and knowledge from Lews. And we've slowly drifted here, but I don't think we've actually said it yet. And that's a huge departure from when he first started having these Lews moments, you know?
Yeah. And it's relatively, everyone's kind of at peace right now. It's kind of the prophecy that he got in the red twisted redstone door frame. You know, the north and the east and the south and the west will bind together. And he's like, but there's still like cracks. You know, the Borderlanders are marching south and you can't really figure out why. And he's like, are they coming against me or for me? And like, do I have to tackle, like, they're supposed to be the most loyal ones. They've grown up against the Shadow. Like, why are they marching south? And Grendel is somewhere around here, according to Asmodean, before he died. So, like, is she around? Is she influencing stuff? And then the Shanshan, you know, I guess they've agreed to a truce, but the whole thing with Cimarroc's really, really bothering him. He's like, are we still in this? Or what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And then Caddy Cat comes up. Good old Cadsuane.
I love how he's sitting here in deep contemplation. Min is being the caring wife, woman. What term do we use for her?
Jump off.
She is.
Jump off.
That works too. And then Cadsuane just strolled, like he's like alarmed, going for the sword because he feels somebody coming, and it's just her. She's kind of busting the room and like doesn't even announce herself. It just is what it is. I'm here.
Yep. It does a normal thing. Like he says something to her and she kind of just like gives him a look and then he like says it again the right way. He's like, better.
Yeah. And they're looking for some intel on the Cimarroc thing. And she's like, it's going okay. And Nynaeve busts in and is like, okay. That woman isn't giving up nothing. She is. Yeah.
It's more along the lines of going as expected.
Yeah, but Cadsuane even gets a little snippy with Nynaeve, isn't it? And she says, like, we should take you back to the tower. It's like, which tower are you referring to?
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
I was like, well, somebody's not happy. Somebody's disagreeing with somebody.
Yeah. So meanwhile, also, he makes a quick point to talk about everything that Nynaeve's wearing and how she's dressed and everything. And at least in my mind, Nynaeve is very much coming into her own now. Like she's in the past, she's worn different clothes and, becoming an Aes Sedai versus being the Wisdom, like kind of toyed with how she wants to present herself to the world. And now it's really starting to solidify. And part of that is, being wife to Lan. And that's a big part of who she is now. And that's a part of how she dresses and carries herself. And, anyways, it just felt very intentional the way he was describing her dress and how she carries herself and all that jazz. And I'm like, this is here. Now Nynaeve's started doing her thing now.
Yep.
That's who she be.
That's who she be. Anyway. So little conversation. They talk about Lews Therin starts to rant about things. About the 100 companions and the strike at Sheol and Rand, startled by the piece of information, he's like, what do you mean by that? He says it out loud. And like everybody stops and looks at him. He's like,
are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
I think it's almost worse, but it's almost worse that as he does the out loud stuff, like Cadsuane at least is playing it cool and not overreacting to it. But what that tells me is he's been doing it a lot, or at least enough that they're not surprised by it. And like, it's kind of, he's devolving as much as she expected as well. You know? So I don't see it as a good sign necessarily. They're all like, oh, let's let him get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's that little dash of crazy, and then when he's done, we'll just move on. Like,
that part,
yeah.
The concern, of course, is there with men, but that's her job.
Sure.
So.
Sure.
What do you think about men's like role at this point? Because that's something in the fandom that like people like always debate about. Like,
it's
how
kind of
beginning...
difficult for her to go from a badass to like the subservient, worried woman.
Yeah, because there's a whole thing that she just becomes a sexy lamp. Like, she's just something in the corner.
No, she is an anchor. She is the most vital part. You think Cadsuane is helping Rand? You think Moraine was helping Rand? You consider where Rand is right now and his mentals and everything, and without men close to him physically, but also having that connection to the bond, like tugging at him to keep him sane. Yeah, we would have lost Rand already. In fact, I've been thinking about this. This might be one of the many things that prevents this turning of the wheel being like all the other ones. Because Rand, with the people he's bonded with, plus the relationship with Matt and Perrin and their involvement and everything, but the girls bonded to Rand are an anchor to him. And I think that's a huge piece to this.
Yeah, that was something. I think that whole thing started on Dusty Wheel about men being a lamp, and like there's a big thing in the fandom. They're like, no, yes, no. It was like dividing. But yeah, I agree with you. I think men still has a very important role.
You have to add a little depth yourself to it, because it's not like it's written in there saying exactly how she's helping Rand per se. So you got to read into it a little bit, but you don't have to read into it too much. I think it's obviously there.
Yeah, because he acknowledges her. I mean, he acknowledges the use that she has and that she continues to have a use, and it's nothing to do with her body. So,
Or how about when he struggles with his negative emotions and he's thinking about it, there's immediate reflection on how he's also feeling the emotions of men and these other girls, and there's a give and take there. So they're helping him with that struggle.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes they make it worse. There's been moments where he's calm and cool and he senses men freaking the fuck out. But for the most part, I think it's more her keeping him human.
That's part of what is keeping him there.
And he senses actually calmness from Elaine all the way, even though it's really far away too. He's like, I guess things are going well in Andor, so that's comforting to him too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a lamp. Do you realize if I had a min in my life, I'd have taken over the world by now, in a good way.
In a good way.
But I don't have a min. I keep getting Semarogs and fucking anyway. Landfears. Bro, I fall for the Landfears.
Grindels.
What's bad is I recognize Landfear for Landfear, and I'm like, oh, she's so hot. I'ma just go over this one time.
He did sort of cause him to lose his hand. Come on, that's a little.
I've got two of them. You don't need two hands.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us do. I'm kidding. My hands are large.
Anyway, that's how we end this chapter pretty much, with them all like, "Are you okay, Rand?"
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this chapter was a long chapter, but it really could have been summarized really quickly.
It's just sort of any book. It's a lot of recap, a lot of kind of just exposition,
setting the stage.
I was telling Chanel, you could tell that like Brandon kind of wanted to start the chapter or the book the way Jordan would, and then
it's got the flair.
It's got the flair. It's got a lot of description, but then there's something just a little bit different.
It still moves a little quicker.
Quickly. Yes.
He's describing, but he's not spending a ton of time in each moment.
He's using like nature to describe it. So he like personified nature and then told it from first person point of view, which is different from what Jordan does, because he kind of gives that omnipotent. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
omniscient, third person omniscient.
Yes. So it's definitely told in a different voice, which I think it's what makes the story more fun for me, because I could see Syl flittering around.
I can see Syl. Cosmere crossover.
Yep. This is where he came up with the idea. He's like, let me write this down.
Yeah, we had fun in the Cosmere reads last night. If you guys missed that episode, it's going to be an ongoing now joke about Spren. So no spoilers for Cosmere, but they're just Pokemon is what we just determined.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Yeah,
that actually works really well with some of the newer ones. The newer Pokemon actually look kind of
like Sprentish.
Yeah.
Guys, ready for the next chapter? Chapter 2, the nature of pain.
Pain is pleasure.
The end of this chapter was timed very well for my life right now. So I just, after hearing it, I was like, well, shit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to care enough to care. That's the part that I'm getting stuck on. I don't care enough.
What is the purpose? What is the mission? What is the vision?
Yeah.
How is this getting me to where I need to go or want to go?
It's crazy.
Those are the tough questions, bro.
You're right. You look at the psychology of life sometimes, and one of the greatest things for human is procreation, because then it forces for most people a why. Like, if nothing else, you're here because you have a human being that depends on you for at least the first 15 to 30 years of their life, because some people don't grow up.
Man.
But anyway,
when my first marriage, my kid's mom, when we first got together, she was supposed to finish school and then start working, and I was paying to put her through school anyways. Instead of going to school, she was just going to a friend's house drinking and smoking, and then failed out anyways. So it turned into she was stay-at-home mom. We'll put air quotes on that. And then I just had to work. And so I've always done well enough. Like, I've chased the money, but I have not worked jobs that I enjoy. And for the most part, they're soul sucking. But to your point, Chris, I say all that, when we were living in Alabama, the job down there, I probably liked the least. Every day I came home, I parked my motorcycle up on the porch, and there's big glass windows, like floor to ceiling. And whenever I was coming around the corner, my youngest kids would always just run up to the glass and be like, "Oh, Dad's home." So every time I pulled up, I had like kids cheering for me. You have no idea how much that got me through this, just the shit. And so, and at that time I was working my main job, plus lifeguarding, plus coaching a swim team, plus going back to school. And yeah, having, I didn't really have the motivation at work or whatever, but having that with the kids at home and, just sucking up and getting through it, like, that was, huge.
Does Rand know that Elaine's pregnant? Have we had that discussion?
Yeah, he's
got to know.
He's got to know.
He's with Min. Min knows, because Min gave a viewing on it.
That's
Do
they know? Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Or was it mentioned? Like, I was thinking about it earlier, and I was like, because he's always talking about just getting to the end and just being done. But I'm like, you got a kid on the way, possibly two, based on what the viewing or whatever is, twins. Like, that's what we think. So, like, like, you just want to die, but you have this other thing over here. So I found that quite interesting.
He can't know. If he knew, that would have to be in his mind more, especially when he thought of Elaine, and he never thinks and discusses it.
No, never visits her. Nothing.
Yeah,
I don't think he knows.
How if we just asked that question?
I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know.
Do you guys say Rand better
hold on that guard that knocked her
up? But because within this chapter, Egwene has her why, and she comes up with it at the very end. And all right, we're skipping too far ahead. Go ahead.
We're skipping too far away. Yeah, we start with beatings, because we start with Egwene receiving her daily
end in the same spot. So that's why I'm like,
she's getting her daily punishment from the Misters and Novices, Sylviana. And the two women discuss Egwene's constant resilience to the beatings before Sylviana dismisses Egwene for dinner, but tells her to return afterwards for even more beatings.
Yeah, she's like, I know you're gonna fuck up between now and
Yeah.
the after dinner, so come see me after dinner for more spankings. And I'm demanding you go get dinner before you come to see me again. So
we can give you a quality spanking.
We can give you quality spanking, but that way you also get dinner. So she is looking out for her. Like there is some level of pity for her in this moment. So
yep. Egwene reveals eating will have to wait because she has to go attend to Lyda over dinner.
The Mistress of Novices is like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's like questions Egwene about it, and she's like, it makes no difference. So Egwene leaves the chambers, given a dose of fork root by Katarine.
She just takes like a shot, like
yep.
Like this is her new I wonder if at some point she builds a resistance to it.
Interesting.
Like, can you build an immunity? Like, you take it enough, like your body should just start getting used to it and metabolize it faster or something.
Yeah. And Egwene's still planting seeds too. I mean, yeah. So I don't know how fork root works. So that's why I didn't dismiss your question.
No, you're fine.
So, like that's not even a spoiler. I don't know. Yeah. So also she starts a conversation with Katarine and Bearsine about the decline situation in the tower, and
she's still planting those seeds.
Are you proud of this? Are you proud of what we are doing right now? Are you proud of this situation where
none of the Aja trust each other?
Yeah, like enemies. Like, can we really be happy about this? Is this a situation we really want to be in?
I feel this might turn into the easiest coup ever. Like, who's going to be left to support Elida?
Yeah.
Like, who does right now? I get a lot of people are afraid of her, but who supports her?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we need. Other than probably some Black Aja or Forsaken or something. But
I think Jordan was foretelling the future. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, she heads up towards Eliza's apartment. For a second, like it like flashes to death and destruction on the picture or whatever that she's looking at, the mural. Thinks of Ripple, the Dark One, or whatever, but just turns back to normal.
And they all were like very taken aback by it because they're used to the rooms changing now, but never something physical in the world being shifted that much. So I'm wondering, like you, Ian, is this a picture of what it was in one turning? And are these turnings now? Is the wheel coming to a grinding halt and everything colliding together?
Yeah, I'm still feeling the vibes of like either the multiple turnings or multiverses or however you want to look at it. Like there's some merging, there's some craziness happening that's causing some overlap and shifting, and
I mean, we still have that world that we haven't really entered back into way back in like book 1 or 2, where there was the weird worm thing that Rand had to fight that he was saved from by Lanfear.
Yeah. Or how about this? If at the end of this, at the last battle, there's some massive finger blasting, like the biggest finger blasting ever. I thought, Alan, you were going to click it.
Finger blasting is the best.
I mean, I was ready. I was waiting for you to
I knew I was going to get interrupted, so I was like, all right, let me wait for the click. Well, so we know with the balefire, though, like it doesn't just zap that person away, like it erases them from the timeline, essentially. It's like, and if you zap them hard enough, like you go further back in the past and erase all the things they ever did, any of their interactions, whatever. So if jumping forward at the end, there's massive finger blasting, then even now they would start experiencing these shifts of, okay, I thought I remembered this painting this way, but now it's slightly different because that history is actually different because they blasted so hard that there were changes so far back into the past that they're now watching it change in front of them. So it could be that too.
Could be very true. Like the whole dead people walking could just be people that got removed from the timeline.
With blasting so hard, there's so many that what she said that I just bit my tongue throughout the
Yeah,
entire.
I saw you squirming.
That's what she said. So anyway, she also sees Alviren finally heading towards her punishment, her daily punishment as well, which she was surprised because she's late. Just a little note, and wonders what the delay's for. But anyway, she gets to Lyda's quarters, and yeah,
Another
let's talk about
the door.
What do you say?
I said, and another Aes Sedai opens the door.
Right.
It's a gray.
And it's one of her spies.
A trembling gray.
A very trembling gray.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is one of her spies. And Elida has just invited her, just so happened to have her over for dinner. The same time she's having Egwene serve her soup.
Yeah.
And this woman's mad nervous. She's stuttering and stumbling over her words.
Mm-hmm.
She can't really come up with the answers to Elida's questions, such as, what do we do with the traitors? Do we kill them? Do we strap them down and spank them hard? Like, do we give forgiveness here? I don't know if that's the thing anymore. And of course, you have Egwene in the background boiling over because she realizes the stole only has 6 colors and not 7.
Oh yeah, but I mean the straw that breaks the camel's back is when she starts talking about the fourth oath, and that's where Egwene's just like and spill stuff everywhere. Like
Egwene's like, wait a second, you are literally thinking about making us all beholden to you, like you're a dictator,
right? And
she even starts questioning. She's like, when did she become like this? She couldn't have always been like this. Like, I met her before she, got here. She met her a long time ago when she first, I guess, was she in the room no, that was just Rand, wasn't it? Rand and Matt, or who was it? Way back when in like book 2, when they first met Elaine, or book 1.
Book one.
Yeah. Was Egwene part of that?
When Rand, the first time you meet her is when Rand fell into.
Yeah, it was just Rand.
So it was just Rand.
Yeah.
But then we see her again when Elaine gets to the tower because she goes up there with Elida.
That's right.
That's when you meet Egwene. Yeah.
And even then, she was just cool, calm, collected. A little bit pompous, but
but she's definitely been influenced.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And she's like, "This is what power did to you. It's horrible." It's ugly.
I think it's not only that; it's just that like she feels that she's a puppet, and in some ways she is, and she wants to. She realizes everything's falling around her, and this is her last ditch effort of trying to fix everything by controlling everything. I guess, in a really, really Machiavellian type of way. Like it's a really poor way of going about leadership, but you see it happen where people are grasping at straws and they start to demand respect my authority.
That's how my boss is.
Well, let's say there isn't some dark friend or forsaken influence on Elida, and it's just poor leadership. Even that wouldn't be too far fetched. I could tell you right now. And we're all old enough, y'all probably experienced it, not just in my time in the Army, but as a DoD civilian and working in various agencies. We've come up with this weird culture of believing that anybody could be a good leader. Like we can train and make good leaders. I can have you read a few books. You could take a couple courses, a supervisor course, and then boom, I'll put you in charge of people and you'd be good at it. No, not even. I've never once experienced that in my life. People have natural tendencies like that. They're good at certain things and not good at certain things. And leadership is, if you haven't been good at it your whole life, you're not going to wake up at 40 and be good at it. You can learn certain things to make you better, but you're not good. It's not going to feel natural to you. And so then you have middle management people. This is where I was getting with it. You have middle management people that sit around middle management their whole life, and they get bitter and angry, and they're like, it's my turn. Like they feel like it's their turn. They see everybody else doing it, and they want the power and they want the authority, and they're looking at it in all the wrong ways of what can I do to make me look good, which is step one to failing as a leader. And then they get in those positions sometimes, and it turns into this. They're doing all the wrong things. Even, Egwene, she was pointing out to somebody, or maybe she was just thinking about it. She was like, all this ish that's going on, and Elida is focusing on making this new wing to the tower and making it all fancy. Oh, and she was imagining how Swan's room would have been versus what she's looking at now. Like, it's not practical. It doesn't help anybody. It's very vain and egotistical. Like, everything that she's doing is wrong and making things worse.
Yeah, and she does mention to the ladies when she was asking, like, are you okay with this? Like, you have a person in charge who's building her own palace. Like, she's the first to like build her own palace, and they all kind of just like cringe, but then don't openly acknowledge that they're not okay with it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And you're absolutely right. There are people in power that do not belong in power. It's assumed that they would make a good leader.
Yeah, or I think as Stringfling is pointing out right now, like people that micromanage as well, like this people that can't relinquish and can't delegate well, don't not make good leaders.
That's a good point. I was going to say where I've excelled when I've been in leadership positions, one of my gifts is I'm just lazy enough that I don't want to micromanage. If I have to, it's to get in, teach, and then get out, right, and let them run with it. But one of my gifts that I see is I'm able to learn enough about the people on the team to know what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. I don't treat them all equally. I put people in roles that they can excel at, and you just put all the right parts in the right place to accomplish the mission, right? But none of that's about me. It's about looking at the group and figuring out how can we get everybody to work on this most effectively.
Right.
You should come give a TED talk at my bank.
I still curse too much, and I don't do well with stupid questions. I will give honest answers to stupid questions.
There are no stupid questions, just a lot of inquisitive idiots. That's
I like that. I'm gonna have to use that.
There's a lot of inquisitive idiots.
No, someone's gonna ask what I think is a stupid question, and I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna go, before I answer that, can I ask what is it you do here? And when they say they're in management, I'm gonna go, oh no, you guys are fucked. If they're asking this question, y'all are in trouble.
I'm not going to get into detail. I have so many things from work that I can get into about this.
Yeah, I'm sure we all have examples, but yeah.
Someone comes up and says something, I just look at them like, why did you just... I don't even entertain it most of the time. I just nod my head and walk away. Like, okay, cool.
I need to master that skill. That'll be the next one I'll work on.
Just nod my head and be like, okay. just walk over this one. I ain't got time for that. Anyways, yeah, so she dismisses Egwene after this because she's pissed that Egwene spilt soup everywhere. Even though she tries to clean it up.
I do love Egwene's reaction because this is Egwene literally boiling to the top. And she needed a quick solution, or else she's going to lay into Elida. And she realized as she was making her way there and really seeing the interaction between Elida and the Gray, I don't need to bring Elida down. Elida's already doing a phenomenal job of that on her own. I need to find a way to keep this place together.
Yes.
I need to hold it together.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that epiphany, that turning point is huge for Egwene's arc. I mean, I'm not giving spoilers here. Just yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like,
that's an important realization. Whenever you're climbing your way up an organization, you can't get so focused on your individual needs and wants, right? Because that's what Elida did, and it turned into problems. And Egwene had a mission to, kind of find a way to get back in charge, get rid of Elida. She's causing problems, but that can't just be it. You can't do whatever it takes to get that. she has to be able to do that while bringing everybody back together, because that's the real problem: the division, the distrust, the not working together, the secrets, So to your point, huge, huge, actually huge. Take the H off. That's how big it is. It's
huge. Yeah, she gets back to the Mistress of Novices and starts to get beaten. She just starts laughing, and Sylviana just like stops and is like, "Why are you laughing at this? I'm beating the crap out of you." And she's like,
"I get it now.
It's just funny. Like you're beating me, and this is so insignificant compared to like what's going on. Have you looked around? Like, like
she's like, girl,
the fact that you're beating the ambulance seat is hilarious to me. Like,
right? Yeah, this ass whooping's going to solve all these problems.
Yeah. Have you not looked around?
That was the additional point that was made that I really thoroughly enjoyed, which was, I now realize that it's inevitable, and I get why the Aiel are able to take pain, because it's about the why. Like, why am I doing this? Which kind of brings us back to the beginning of this podcast.
Right.
She now has a why. She has a purpose greater than herself and her own personal needs. She's like, the end of the world is coming, and Rand is going to need all the help he can get, and I need to be able to be in a position where I can get him the help that he deserves.
And it's going to take the whole tower, all of them.
And on top of that, it's also going to require, I need to be able to help control Rand, because we don't need him going mad and ruining things. So, she's like, I have a big task ahead of me, and what I don't need to do is fight a fight that doesn't need to be fought.
So this made me laugh, because my mind went to a tangent talking about the why, and then going back to the conversation about being a parent and having kids and that being the why. But then I was at a church group the other day, and we were talking about like parenting. Or no, it was one of the guys in the group, and he was talking about SEER training, because he was military. He was talking about how they play on a loop like crying kids or crying babies, because the human can't ignore that. It makes you go crazy or whatever, because you can't not do that. And I was like, clearly you've never been a parent that sleeps right through kids crying. Like, eventually you can tune that shit out. Like, yeah, he's fine.
If he takes it up an octave, like, I'll go check on him. But this is just normal.
To sleep.
Yeah, that's funny. Look, I learned to tune out the shipyard horn. I can tune out anything.
I can tune out anything. Okay.
Yeah. Shift change. What?
Annoying living that close, because they've got 3 shifts
for maybe a week. You complain about it for a week, and then you never hear it again. It doesn't. The horn doesn't stop sounding. You just don't hear it anymore.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest phenomenon.
Yeah. The air raid siren, the shift change.
Yep. Middle of the night, early in the morning.
7 o'clock.
After a week or two, never heard it.
7 in the morning.
And I was right across from it.
Because I can hear it at my house, and you're right. You lived right across from it, and I don't live close to the ship, but I can still hear it at my house. Yeah, that's how I know. That's how I know I'm running late without checking the clock. Because I'm sitting there like, because I should be getting dressed by 7 a.m. and like if I hear I'm like, oh shit,
gotta go.
Yep. Yeah.
That was that chapter though. It really did end with her, enjoying her spanking at that point, or not liking it. So,
but did they have like a conversation where she was like, all right, because she spilled the beans about like why she's kind of laughing or whatever, but she was like, but look, you gotta do what you gotta do. I gotta take it, and then I'm gonna move on and like get to like real business. So let's just go through the motions. Go ahead and whoop me.
Yeah, like, girl, I can't stop beating you because this is what I do. But
yeah, and they just accept it. Is all right. This is just a step in the game we got to play. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Egwene's like, when you're ready to be on
so
the winning team, you let me know.
We did skip over. A lot did have a viewing too that the tower's going to be attacked by Shan-Chen. They did mention that.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen.
Okay. Because she had a foretelling or whatever. She does have
foretelling. During this chapter, she had a foretelling?
She talks about it in the earlier chapter.
Yeah, I think that
she
came up.
makes a statement like, well, some people think that we're going to be attacked by the Shan-Chan in no time. But
yeah, I didn't think it was a foretelling. I thought she heard it
maybe it was a
from
foretelling. You're right.
she heard it from somebody, and she was blowing it off like that's not going to happen. These people are so disorganized.
It was not a foretelling. Yeah, you're right.
I happen to think it's going to happen, and this might be part of. It might be one of those scenarios where, like, behind the scenes, Egwene is slowly gaining support, or at least getting people to start thinking, like, maybe this Elida thing ain't it. Elida's going to do like a horrible job mounting the defenses, or something like that, or like just lose her shit when they come under attack, and that's when Egwene pulls through and it's like, all right, I got this. Y'all link up, do this. Pee, pow, pow, pow. Let me show you this cool thing. Poof, zap people. Little finger blasting. Choo-choo.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Or this is how Rand gets her the tower back. Or the Shan-Chan is going to attack. That would be too easy.
Yeah. But I don't know. The problems have gotten so big, even if Rand and the tower being led by Egwene were to join forces right now, we still got a couple books to settle the rest of the ish out there.
Yeah.
That's not a guaranteed win right now. And it's not going to happen overnight. Like, just because Egwene and Elida and the people that are physically at the tower agree to something right now, you still have all these other Aes Sedai out in the diaspora. The Blues are all gone, either in hiding or with the rebels or whatever. Like, yeah. I could see them coming together at some point in this book, and you still have two books worth of shit to write about.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Anything from all these chapters before we do favorite character?
I think we did a good job of summarizing this.
Yeah. Awesome. Even though we went through this one quickly, this was a great Egwene chapter.
It was
like really good.
Yeah, this was
a lot. All of the good stuff. It wasn't the action per se. It was all the realization and the thoughts going through her mind that was shared in the book. Like that was, yeah. You really see some significant pages being turned in her book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that epiphany that she doesn't have to fight a lot anymore is huge. Yeah.
Yep.
So, favorite character.
The strap.
The strap.
Wait, what's the strap? What I miss?
That's the spanking tool used.
Oh, yeah.
You must tie her down on a bed and spank her.
Thank you.
Oh, to be that strap. Sorry.
I bet you she uses the same strap on all of them. That thing probably smells dank.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, Egwene is an obvious one. I think Egwene gets an obvious nod.
Yeah.
Gosh, just because there's some people out there calling Min a lamp, I'm going to say Min. Okay. And for all the reasons I said before, I think her role is significant. You got to peel back the layers just a little bit, but she is helping to hold Bran down.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Cimarog just for being a boss chosen, and not breaking. She took that training seriously.
That being said, like, they can't torture her. They can't hurt her during this torture.
Yeah,
so there's that part. We did skip over that.
Yeah, we did skip over
Rand's like, we're absolutely not gonna hurt her. That is not my way. I will not have that on my conscience. And the rest of them are like, but she's a dark friend. Like, you're chosen. Supposed to kill them. Like, she's chosen. We have to get rid of them. And he's like, yeah, well, this one won't be on me. She said, they locked you in a box. This one won't be on me. They tried to kill you twice. I know I'm missing a hand for it. 3 times, 4 times. Okay, well, it's still not. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm sure Nynaeve wouldn't mind killing her.
Yeah, Nynaeve wants to strangle her.
Nonsense. Chosen. Anyways. Yeah, so next week we're doing 3 chapters. 3. So chapter 3, The Way of Kings. I mean, The Ways of Honor. The Ways of Honor.
We getting it? Is that a land chapter?
Ooh, maybe.
Are we gonna start seeing him collect some folks?
Maybe. Chapter 4, Nightfall. And chapter 5, A Tale of Blood.
Oh. Maybe these are land chapters. I like that idea. I mean,
yeah, Tale of Blood speaks family and relations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I like the idea. So let's just hope that that's the truth.
Okay. Cool.
Well, because if we wait too long to get into that land story, then,
we're not going to get it.
We're not going to get enough of it. So I'm hoping they get to it sooner rather than later so we get a lot of it.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's what we're doing next week. So come back for some more awesome wheel reads. Or we're going to talk.
Again?
Huh?
Come again?
Come again? Yeah.
Yes.
So how it can be found is at thewheelreads.com. It's a website. It has lots of cool links like Patreon, merch, Discord, all that fun stuff. I'm not going to make you guys do it tonight, but one thing we started doing the Cosplay Reads after our recordings is going to Discord and hanging out in the Badger Bureau. So I figured that we might start doing that again. Just a little bit. Not every episode, but every once in a while.
I would like to get back to that a little.
It had been so long since the last time I was in the barrel. It took me like a good 15 minutes to figure out how to turn my mic on in there. Like I was like, oh, it's Discord again. How do I do this? How do I work Discord? Like it's been a year since I've been in there. But yeah, so figure I should utilize my Discord channel a little more. So maybe we'll actually start hanging out there a little bit. Not tonight. Tonight, I think we're all tired. We've had busy days. But we'll do it. We'll do it. I was tired today. Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, so we're gonna start doing that a little bit here and there.
Matter of fact, we'll come on time. That way we can.
Get done a decent hour. We can hang out for a bit.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So come join our Discord. Do it. It's cool. Do that. Social media, like, subscribe, comment, all the things. If you leave some spicy comments, I might read them out loud to get into our episode. Same with like reviews. Of course, I haven't even looked at reviews in over a year, so maybe I should see if I have some spicy reviews too. I'd like some spicy reviews.
That'll be
anyways,
fun.
Yeah, 1-stars are fun to read.
Yeah.
It helps with my self-esteem. Makes me feel like I'm doing something with my life.
There's a lot of complaining about my immaturity in the reviews.
Is there?
They don't call you out so much, Chris, but they call me out.
Yeah. Oh, they call you out.
You know what?
There's some call outs against Chris. There's some calls.
It's me.
It's
I am that guy.
You'll own it. It's okay.
We love you.
It's okay. Yeah,
I'm working on it.
Yeah, so much Discord talk during COVID. Yeah, well, COVID was a different time. Hey, who knows? We might have another pandemic and we all shut down.
We're already there. They just won't like.
Something to look forward to, guys.
I'll be honest with you. So like, it's not anything that has come from my wife. Let me make that very clear because she is in medical field. But because she's in the medical field, we also know other people in the medical field. We've had doctors saying what has been going on with upper respiratory stuff this year. It was worse than the pandemic,
especially with kids. Especially the younger population. Bad. I mean, I told y'all, Ryder. He's been a lifelong swimmer, super healthy kid, was in the hospital for a week for his pneumonia.
Yeah.
And he's still pretty jacked up from it. Like the scar tissue and struggle. Anyways, it's
it's rough. So if we have another pandemic and they shut us down, we'll be on Discord all the time.
Oh yeah, because I'll have a job where I won't have to go to work.
I might start drinking again at that point. So we'll see.
I'll get healthy again, please.
Yeah. I will get unhealthy again.
Yeah.
Anyways, so do all that stuff, and that's pretty much all I got for this week. See if this link actually works to do the sign off.
Until next time.
Peace.
Okay, bye. Thank you for watching The Wheel Reads.
Until next time.
Okay, bye.
Get your Coast Guard certified life-saving device ready and strapped on.
Where are we going tonight?
What kind of strap on you talking about? Sure.